Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. I'm Bailey Bramer.
And I'm Kennedy Dindy. Thanks for joining us. An impending trial that has been surrounded by a social media storm since 2016 will finally begin on Monday, but it could be moved to a different location based on concerns of public bias against the defendant. 137 potential jurors completed surveys last week, testing for bias against former Baylor football player Sean Oakman, who currently awaits trial on sexual assault charges in McLennan County. Oakman's attorney Alan Bennett filed a change of venue motion in an attempt to move Oakman's pending trial out of McLennan County. Bennett made this request because of the large amount of publicity other sexual assault cases have received in Waco. He believes this will lead to a biased jury. Attorneys will start trying to select an impartial panel Monday after those questionnaires are reviewed.
Waco police have encouraged students to lock their cars and keep valuables out of sight after several vehicles were broken into near campus earlier this month. A safety alert went out to Baylor students on Monday, and 14 burglaries were reported between February 11th and the 16th. The Waco Police Department is in charge of these cases and is reminding students to keep possessions in their trunks, to lock their car doors, and to keep their windows rolled up to prevent break-ins. Even with these incidents, Waco police said car burglaries are not uncommon in the Waco area and urged students to follow the department's tips.
The Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children has been helping the Waco community since 1976. I spoke with the center's program director to find out more about the resources that are offered. The Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children aims to bring holistic healing. Dr. Carrie Berkeley is the program director for the Children's Advocacy Center.
The Advocacy Center is a non-profit organization that offers the services for victims of crime. It doesn't matter what the crime is, doesn't matter how long ago the crime has occurred.
Services include a 24-hour crisis hotline, professional counseling, sexual assault nurse examiners, and a variety of other resources.
We also have forensic interviewing, which is an opportunity for my trained professional forensic interviewers to talk to children who allege abuse that has happened to them. We do that in a controlled environment. We record it and hand it over to law enforcement and CPS so they can do their investigation.
You can call the hotline at 254-752-7233 or toll free at 888-867-7233 for more information or immediate assistance.
So our team of professionals are trained and ready to assist families to get back to a sense of new normal, because things are never going to be the same. But we try to give them the resources that they can to survive and to be able to thrive and go forth and make their families just as strong as it was before.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Kennedy Dindy.
Earlier this week, Student Success Initiatives hosted its first Students Who Are Parents Mixer here on campus. This was a social event where students were able to talk about the resources available to students with children. The Affordable Child Care Task Force that hosted the mixer said it hopes to provide more resources for these parents in the future, including more affordable child care options. Kevin Davis, the Veteran Educational and Transition Services Program Manager, said he hopes that by learning about other universities' child care programs, a more affordable program can be created for Baylor students.
Student government hosts various events throughout the year for the Baylor community, but did you know many other organizations also receive funding from them?
LTVN's Julia Lorenz sat down with the student body president to find out more about their role on campus.
Baylor Student Government is more than just a student organization that represents Baylor. They help run this school.
Student government is set up like actual government, and so we have 3 different branches. We have legislative, judicial, and executive. A lot of the projects that we got to work on this year helped a lot of us realize what goes on campus and a lot of the things that students struggle with, and specifically things with food insecurity and mental health and diversity and things that a lot of us are really passionate about.
Student government works as a mediator on campus between Baylor and all student organizations. They allocate money that is then distributed to help host events among organizations.
We are in charge of the SGAF, which is a great fund to where we can provide funding to student organizations so they can have great events. Some of the large events that we have funded in the past are Pi Phi Howdy, ATO bed races, Phi Beta Sigma's homecoming step show.
Other events that we get to be a part of include the big all-university events like All-University Thanksgiving Dinner, Christmas on 5th, DIA, and just the big events that include the entire student body that everyone's welcome to attend. And we get to put a lot of money towards those events and basically see it through and work with other organizations on campus.
Student government works with the Board of Regents, administration, and staff to ensure that students are being represented and heard. So if you want to reach out, talk to them in person, send an email, make a request with OrgSync, or reach out through social media.
We will get your concerns heard, and we will try and get them executed too. For
Lariat TV News, I'm Julia Lorenz.
Baylor's American Sign Language Club invites you to bring your friends, family, and even your dogs to their first Striding for Signing 5K on Saturday. If you would like to participate, it is not too late. The club will be allowing registration until check-in at 9 a.m., and then the race will begin at 9:30 on the fields behind the BSB and will continue through the Bear Trail around campus. Knowledge or experience with ASL is not a requirement for runners.
Coming up, we've got all the info on All University Sings opening night.
And highlights on 2 local apparel shops that may catch your eye. All this and more right after the break.
Brightest are drawn to Baylor, where those from many backgrounds with many talents shine together before casting their light outward to illuminate the world. Through transformational learning opportunities that are grounded in Christian faith and service, and research that impacts lives and communities. Baylor University, a place where lights shine bright.
Sing season is in full swing at Baylor, and 19 organizations of all sizes and themes are competing for just 8 coveted spots in Pigskin Review next fall. All University Sing has been around since 1953, and students plan, choreograph, and produce their own Broadway-style acts. There are 2 more shows this weekend, as well as 3 more next weekend. Each show begins at 6:30 p.m. The shows on Thursdays are not judged, but Fridays and Saturdays performances are scored on various criteria, including theme development, costumes, and group sing. While the Sing judges have the final say in who goes to Pigskin, you have an opportunity to select your favorite act for the first ever Lariat People's Choice Awards. This award will be announced on March 4th in a special episode of Lariat TV News Today. To vote for your favorite, visit BaylorLariat.com or subscribe to the Morning Buzz.
The basement of Moody Memorial Library isn't just a place to go cram before a big test. LTVN's Julia Lorenz discovered some other resources available to students in this hidden on-campus location.
Moody Memorial Library is not just a place to study, it is a resource for all things technology. On the basement floor of the library in the Moody Study Commons is TechPoint. Their desk coordinator shared all the information you may not know about this hidden resource.
TechPoint is a place where students, faculty, and staff at Baylor can come and get the technology resources that they need.
There are 3 main things that TechPoint offers, including the Study Commons, which has 24-hour access. There they have Macs, PCs, whiteboards, and lots of desks for student use. Next, you can reserve equipment, which is broken down to 2 areas. The TechPoint desk, where you can get cables and adapters, and then the Media Lab, where you can rent cameras and lighting for more creative projects. Lastly, you can reserve spaces, which include audio booths, editing stations, a video booth, and even a conference room. All these resources and more can be viewed, checked out, and rented online at TechPoint's website.
TechPoint also offers our creative lab spaces, which is a number of places for students, faculty, and staff to come and really sort of flex their creative muscles. So we have audio booths with professional grade audio equipment. We have a video booth where you can record videos for projects or lectures. We even have a makerspace that's in the early stages of launching. It's been a really cool chance to get to see people's ideas become a real thing, and you get to do all that right here at TechPoint.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Julia Lorenz.
Season 38 of Survivor premiered Wednesday night, and it came with a few surprises, as well as a very familiar face. Baylor soccer alumna Lauren O'Connell is competing as one of the 18 contestants in Fiji. O'Connell grew up watching Survivor and actually named her Barbies Tina and Colby because she was so infatuated with the show. O'Connell said ever since she was in college, she knew she wanted to be on Survivor, but with soccer, she never had the time. One can imagine how she felt when she was chosen to compete. Survivor airs Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on CBS, so be sure to check it out and support your fellow Baylor Bear.
The Baylor Business School is nationally recognized, particularly in entrepreneurship. LTVN's Sarah Gill talked with one graduate who started an apparel business during her senior year and has since connected with hundreds of college students.
Established in Company is a collegiate apparel company that focuses on the traditions of each university they provide apparel for.
Baylor's vast and rich history just really inspired this whole business idea. We really just want to create apparel that students are going to love and want to buy and pass down to their kids one day.
Sarah is bringing trendy clothing back to the college market through posting old school Baylor photos and through her designs.
Definitely using those old Baylor logos, the retro ones like Sailor Bear, Angry Bear from the 80s, and then incorporating the date 1845, which is actually Baylor's founding date. And so by using that in our apparel, we're giving a piece of Baylor's history back through spirit wear.
With no physical location, Established in Company relies on different branding and marketing tactics such as an ambassador program.
We have a lot of awesome students that are part of our ambassador program who are the face of the brand on campus, wearing our apparel and sharing more about the brand.
Sophomore Ambassador Olivia Quinn explains that social media helps spread the word about Established in Company and why their apparel stands out among the rest.
I know she's really trying to expand her company, and it helps that I know how to reach out to other people on social media and get them involved and engaged with the product. It fits in with the type of style that all the kids now are wearing. It's old-fashioned, but in like a cute way. It's not the type where it's just like a plain t-shirt and it just says Baylor.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Sarah Gill.
The Mayborn Museum's newest exhibit, Young at Art, features work from 28 Caldecott Award-winning artists. The Caldecott Medal is an award that highlights the best picture book artist in the United States. Some featured illustrations were from the artists of Jumanji, The Polar Express, and Where the Wild Things Are. You still have time to see the exhibit before it closes on March 3rd. As always, students get in free with an ID, and admission is $8 for adults, $6 for children, and $7 for seniors. Chances are, if you've been a Baylor Bear for at least a year, you've seen a unique game day store on Spate across from VTEX.
I stopped by the shop to see what the hype is around the Barefoot Outfitters brand. One Waco shop established in 2002 is no ordinary retail store. Barefoot Campus Outfitters provides its customers with the ultimate shopping experience.
Lately, our most purchased items have been anything with a Sailor Bear on it. That's kind of become an epidemic this year just because of football and everything like that. So most people come in here looking for something different, and that's what we have to offer, is those different, more unique designs.
Barefoot works closely with Baylor students who work and serve as ambassadors for the brand.
Us hiring students as our models plays a big role, just as in ambassadors also, because you could be in class sitting next to someone and you're like, oh, your shirt's so cute, like where'd you get it? So students advertising our products is like a big thing for us.
There is always a Sailor discount going on at Barefoot, including 15% off with a military ID, 15% off for alumni, and 50% off any item in the store during your birthday month. You can stop by Barefoot Campus Outfitters on Spate for a unique and exciting shopping experience. Whether you're looking for new game day gear or a new shirt to add to your collection, this is the place to be. For Lariat TV News, I'm Kennedy Dindy.
While the Lady Bears have clinched a share of the Big 12 title, the men are still fighting for their spot in the tournament.
Sports with Elizabeth is coming up right after the break.
Dominance is hard to attain and even harder to maintain. You often think of the New England Patriots or Alabama Crimson Tide when it comes to football superiority. But what about basketball? You've got the Warriors, Celtics, Duke Blue Devils, and Baylor's Lady Bears.
9 straight titles. The Baylor Lady Bears secured a share of the Big 12 championship on Wednesday night by defeating the Kansas Jayhawks 80-40. Head coach Kim Mulkey says it was a moment they needed to appreciate, but not for too long.
We understand this is something to celebrate, be happy about, but we've got to come back to work tomorrow, hit the road Friday, and go to Iowa State.
Of course, clinching a share of the Big 12 title is important, but Kalani Brown hitting 2,000 career points is a pretty big deal. The all-time leader in field goal percentage had a double-double with 11 points and 14 rebounds to cement her place at 9th on Baylor's all-time scoring list. Despite a great showing from Brown, the team's shooting was off. The Bears shot 45% from the field and 32% from deep. To compensate the bad shooting night, the Bears had 16 offensive boards and held Kansas to 30% on the other end of the floor. Mulkey said she was disappointed with that the shots weren't falling, but was content with the team's end product.
It's been a long time since we missed that many open looks. It happens. That's the game of basketball.
Mulkey and Brown have not seen much failure together, but one thing they have yet to experience is a Final Four, and both say this is the missing piece to their puzzle.
What has she not accomplished? Get into a Final Four, and that's what she wants to do. Whatever it takes.
The Lady Bears travel to Iowa this weekend to take on the Cyclones. For Lariat TV News, I'm Noah Torr.
After a tough 86-61 loss in Lubbock this past Saturday against the Raiders, the Baylor men's basketball team snapped their 8-game losing streak on the road by upsetting Iowa State 73-69 for a season sweep of the Cyclones. Inside the Hilton Coliseum, junior forward Freddie Gillespie led the way for the Bears with a double-double, scoring 14 points and snagging 10 rebounds. Freshman guard Jerry Butler was the top scorer with 17 points, and 2 other Bears were in double figures as well. The Bears will now return home to host West Virginia this Saturday at 1 p.m. inside the Farrell Center. Baylor's acrobatics and tumbling team returned home with a big win on the road, defeating East Texas Baptist University with more than 120 points. The Bears took an early lead after compulsory and kept it throughout the rest of the meet. Highlights included a perfect score of 10 in the open event of pyramid, as well as a 9.975 on 6 elements in the tumbling event. With this win, the Bears secured their 21st consecutive victory. The Bears' next meet will be against Quinnipiac University at the Farrell Center on February 24th. After a series sweep over Holy Cross in their opening weekend, Baylor baseball is looking forward to facing Cornell with confidence for a 3-game homestand. While junior catcher Shea Langoliers was out last weekend due to a wrist injury, Kyle Harper stood up to the plate and had his first hit in his college career. Freshman pitcher Anderson Needham also made his college debut, pitching 4 2/3 innings and striking out 6 batters, allowing only 1 run. Even with all the new talent, Baylor's veterans continue to perform as expected, both offensively and defensively. Baylor's opponent this weekend, the Big Red of Cornell, will be playing their first series of the season, making their first trip to Waco in 22 years. The first pitch for Game 1 is at 6:35 on Friday, the next game on Saturday, and the last game will be on Sunday. Injured Baylor softball pitcher Gia Rodoni will redshirt her senior season, which leaves head coach Glenn Moore with a hole to fill in the circle. Looking forward, the team will likely make Reagan Green their starting pitcher in place of Rodoni. This weekend, the 16th ranked Baylor Bears will host the Baylor Invitational. They'll face North Texas on Friday at 3 p.m. in Getterman Stadium, and that tournament will continue throughout the weekend. And that's your sports update for this Friday.
Thanks for watching Lariat TV News today.
We'll see you next week. Have a great day, Baylor Nation.